All right, good afternoon, DC Everest students. Welcome back to our second advisory. We're going to talk a little bit more and go a little bit more in depth than we did last week about college career readiness indicators and about how you can access a ton of supports that our district has for you. So again, I'm sharing my screen. Ms. Matthew, Ms. Goldbach, and Mr. Hoffman are going to jump on through this presentation as well. But for the time being, I'm going to kick us off with a little presentation. So last week, we talked about college and career readiness. We briefly went over the indicators that exist within college and career readiness. A few objectives of what we're going to cover today. We're going to review those indicators that we talked about. We're going to show you what your student dashboard will look like. Everybody in the district has a student dashboard. We pull all of your data, and we're going to show you what that looks like as we move forward. Our three people here are going to talk about industry credentials, dual credit career pathway courses, how we access community service and upload and put that into place, talk about co-curricular activities, workplace learning, and our student services Canvas links. So we have a ton to cover here in a brief amount of time, so hang on. Now, a quick reminder about last week. We talked about academic indicators. Again, it is a board goal that we are college and career ready. And when we talk about college and career readiness, there are specific indicators that the research tells us support a student to be successful as they move forward. So when we talk about college readiness, the academic indicators that go along with college readiness are a GPA of 2.8 or more, plus one of the following indicators that you see below. Taking an AP course, getting A, B, or C. Taking an AP exam and getting 3 or more. Taking a dual credit English or math course, A, B, or C. Taking a college development remedial English or math course, getting A, B, or C, or getting an A, B, or C in Algebra 2. Additionally, we talked about the ACT. It still matters. It's not the only indicator we use, but if you can score these 4 scores collectively on the ACT, the research tells us that your first year in college, you will be successful. We also talk about career ready indicators. These are extremely important, right? We want students to be career and college ready, right? So the career ready indicators to us talk about hitting 2 of these pieces below, as well as identifying your career cluster, whatever that may be. So let's say you identify health sciences where you're headed, then we want to see that you hit at least 2 or more of the indicators that are listed there. When we talk about life ready indicators, we didn't talk specifically about this because we don't have specific measures on what it means to be life ready. But when we talk to employers in our community about what does a DC Everest student look like, and how do we make sure our DC Everest students are leaving ready to be contributing members of our society, they talk about some of these skills on the side that you can see in that screen. Talking about service, leadership, perseverance, right? Talking about creativity, self-awareness, critical thinking, problem solving, and collaboration. And so your responsibility during advisory over the course of the year is to make sure you advocate for yourself, engage in conversations about exploring your interests and your passions, learning these new skills, practicing these new skills, and really thinking about post-secondary readiness. What are you going to do after high school? And what are the options and what are the barriers and how do we help you get there? All right, so that's our role. So this is what your dashboard will look like. These are examples that we pulled from the system. On the left, it says, are you college ready? Remember, to be college ready, you have to have a 2.8 GPA or higher and hit 1 or more of the following. So this student would be a 3.96. That's a very high GPA and got an A in AP Human Geography. So this student, by the research would tell us that this student likely is going to be successful in their first year in accessing those first year courses in college. When we talk about career ready on the other side, here's that dashboard for the student. They've identified health sciences where they're headed, haven't missed a day of school, and they've passed dual credit career pathway courses with an A, B, or C. You can see they took finance dual enrollment, introduction to welding dual enrollment, got an A. The student is a hockey. This example student would be a boys hockey player multiple times, and then they scroll down. So the student probably has more co-curriculars that are involved as well, because you can scroll in those boxes. We can't do this because it's just a screenshot. Another example is this student college ready, not yet. So the first thing we look at is the current GPA is a 2.5. Not bad. Definitely not far away from a 2.8. And I will say this again, if you are a senior and your GPA is not a 2.8, the question is for this semester or for this year, can you get a 2.8? Maybe your cum wouldn't get there, but can you get there just for this semester or this year? And then we talk about hitting one or more of the following. And so when we have these conversations about college ready, the conversations will be about how can we start lighting up that dashboard in a few different ways, okay? We talk about career ready. It says not yet. This student is looking at agriculture, food, and natural resources. They haven't missed a day of school, but they haven't had any community service, no workplace learning experience, no industry credentials, et cetera. So in this case, we're going to set goals for one of those indicators to say, hey, have you thought about youth apprenticeship? Do you have a job in the ag, food, and natural resources area that we could tie a youth apprenticeship to? Do you have an opportunity to get out and have a workplace learning experience? Have you thought about community service? Have you looked at joining a club, a sport, or activity? These are the conversations during advisory that we're going to have, because we know that students who do meet these things have a much better chance of being successful in their chosen career path, as well as post-secondary education if they choose to go that route as well. So this is what your dashboard will look like. These are the conversations you'll be engaging in a couple weeks when we start that process during advisory. So to continue to speak a little bit, I have three people here. Mr. Hoffman is our Career and Technical Education Coordinator, does fantastic work with industry credentials, dual credit pathway courses, workplace learning experience. Ms. Goldbach, who's our Volunteer and Career Readiness Coordinator, and Ms. Matthew, is our Community Partnership Coordinator, works on community service, workplace learning experiences, and tying that all in and really just opening doors for you. So these are three people you really want to get to know, because they can help break down a ton of barriers that might exist for you to reaching some of your goals. So the first person coming to speak right now is going to be Mr. Hoffman, talking about industry credentials.
Thanks for your attention, everybody. I want to tell you our goal, obviously the bare minimum, is to make sure that you are going to graduate from high school. But then how do you separate yourself from all the other students that are going to graduate from other school districts? Well, one way to do that is to earn an industry credential while here in high school. As you'll notice in that first bullet, they're free. We're not going to charge you any money for that. You're going to earn an industry standard credential by doing your work. So for one example might be certified nursing assistant. You can enter the workforce as a CNA and gain employment beyond that entry-level position. Another example might be ACCT, our Assistant Child Care Teacher certification. You can go out and get a job working with young students and help students develop their passion for education. You can earn college credit for passing one or more certification exams, depending upon the certification. And business and industry recognizes the certification's value. For instance, in our construction trades program, students have the ability to earn a certification that can actually advance them when they enter the adult apprenticeship trade. So for instance, if you wanted to become a carpenter, you would now enter above somebody else that was entering that field. You're going to plan your high school classes. We really strongly recommend, especially for you underclassmen, to plan your high school classes to include these opportunities to earn certifications. As you look through our academic and career handbook, really pay attention to page 14 to figure out which industry credentials are out there available to you. Another way to set yourself ahead of the game is to look at our dual enrollment courses. You want to get your head start for free again while still here in high school. If you meet the credentials and the certifications needed for high school credit, you're also meeting them for college. You'll have a little bit more of a supportive environment here because your teachers are going to kind of support you through the whole process. So by example, in 2019 and 2020, we had 454 DC Everest students earn 1,320 credits. So really, if you're thinking about taking a dual enrollment course that might be connected with North Central Technical College, for example, you're talking about roughly $150 for free per credit while still here in high school. So what I encourage you to do is to look for the DE notification or notation and the college logo in the course descriptions as you go through our course and career guide. College partners include North Central Technical College, Fox Valley Technical College, UWSP, UW Green Bay, and UW Oshkosh. Some DE courses are transferable to other UW colleges. So you might be thinking, well, I'm not going to NTC after I graduate. But I'd still strongly encourage you to earn and meet those requirements of the class because it could be transferable to the institution that you do choose to go to. Again, think back to how you're planning your courses. There is a link available to our DE courses, and I really strongly encourage you to take a look at page 20 in the Academic and Career Handbook. I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Jen Gobach.
Ms. Golbach, you'll have to hit unmute if you haven't yet.
All right, there we go. Thanks, everyone. So community service and extracurriculars and co-curriculars, those are the two areas that I'll be talking about. Both of those can light up your career and life-ready skills, because both of those will make you college and career ready. And when we talk about community service, one thing I want to share is be intentional about what you choose for community service. 24 hours is the minimum, not the maximum. And you could do that 2 hours in 10 different places, or you could find something that fits your interests and do all your hours in one place. Either will give you valuable experiences. I do want to encourage you to think about sticking with one organization. Doing this will give you greater opportunity to build skills, relationships, and give you more in-depth experiences that will definitely come in handy when you're interviewing for jobs, filling out college applications. Plus, the organization that you serve with will have a great volunteer that is already trained and that they can depend on. So there's multiple ways that you can earn your community service hours. And through volunteer service, you're going to gain stories, connections, experiences that will make you more interesting and more well-rounded. You will have skills that make you more marketable, such as leadership, communication, dependability, collaboration with others. You'll show that you can handle time management and decision making, plus a ton more. You'll gain connections that will give you solid references. So often students struggle when asked for references, and volunteering is a great way to expand your network of professional contacts. So I encourage you to come visit with me. We can explore all the great organizations in our community and find something that fits both your personal and your career interests. And then now, the co-curriculars and extracurriculars, again, same skills can be gained that you would gain in community service. You're going to make new connections, and you're going to have an opportunity to explore your interests and your passions. And they'll all these experiences and skills you'll be able to highlight those in job interviews, your college applications, and every conversation that you have. Life is really all about having stories to tell, and to have stories, you need to be experiencing new things. We had a year last year with everything canceled, so make this the year that you try something new. Right now, our clubs are all rebuilding. They're all in a rebuilding phase. They're looking for new student leaders, fresh ideas, fresh energy. So we encourage you to grab some friends and join together. You will gain skills, again, that will make you marketable to employers, colleges, as well as scholarship review committees. And every person that you meet will find you more interesting, because again, you'll have all these experiences and be more well-rounded. So reach out to club advisors to learn more, and then also watch during lunch. In the coming weeks, we will be setting up tables, and all the clubs will be recruiting new members. So check it out, try something new. A list of clubs will also soon be available under a new student life tab on the senior high website, so watch for that as well. Again, make this the year you try something new. Just show up and jump in. And now I'm going to pass it to Mrs. Matthew.
Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you about workplace learning experiences. Very exciting to provide some opportunities for you to get involved in youth apprenticeship, job shadowing, some community industry tours. October, we're going to start off with one in the construction management area, some internships, mentoring, and school-based enterprise. Students that are really participating in these workplace learning experiences get an opportunity to explore their career interests, acquire critical workplace skills like collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving. They get to apply what they're learning in the classroom to the real world experience. In some of these situations, you can earn high school credit and possibly a paycheck. And as we've mentioned along, these experiences are allowing you to build on your personal resume, which really enhances those job, college, and scholarship applications. When we think about exploring workplace learning, it's really helping you to explore a job or a career that's going to be a good fit for you. And it also helps you to evaluate what's important to you in the workplace. That might be work flexibility, the culture of the company, salary and benefits. So you're out there really doing a lot of exploration to really figure out what's important to you. Jobs will be changing in future post-pandemic. So as Mr. Hoffman mentioned, it's really good for you to take advantage of what we have here at the DC Everest Senior High School, learn about those roles and skills that are in demand on the job, and then take advantage of that short-term training. As we move on to the next slide, advisory in the next 2 weeks will consist of introducing you to the tools and goal setting. We're going to talk about the logins for Transio, Canvas, and Zello. We're going to have you identify your career cluster within Transio next week. So be thinking about kind of your career cluster of interest as it stands right now. And then we're going to have you search for community service and workplace learning experiences and get familiarized with the forms for goal setting, reflections, and job shadows. The last week of the month, we'll have you open up that goal setting form and then start to identify what you're feeling right now for your goals for the future and saving it in your Canvas e-portfolio. And now to conclude today, we have an activity. Mr. Raether, in sending out this email with this video link to the faculty, will have the link for self-enrolling into the Canvas course, and students should have received an email today as well with this link. Our Student Services Canvas course link will be your access to college and career ready announcements, calendaring events like when colleges are here to visit DC Everest and students and learn about what the campuses have to offer, resources for you like your academic, social, emotional supports, some of the college planning for each grade level, our college and career ready advisory tab, and then the links for Zello and Transio. So at this time, we'd like you to check your emails and select that link so that you will have access to the resources moving forward. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you to all the ELT teachers as you head forward with this activity. Thank you to Ms. Matthew, Ms. Goldbach, and Mr. Hoffman as we move forward as well. Students, there's a lot of information coming at you. It's okay if that feels a little overwhelming. That's not a big deal at all. Just try to think about some of these opportunities that you heard, something that sparked your interest and like, hey, that might be something I'm interested in. So follow the instructions, enroll in the course now, and want to thank you for your attention today. Have a great rest of the day.